I'm the most recent owner of Ruby slash Catty. So just wanted to start off by saying thank you to Griff for the soul contract. I mean, with all of Griff's readings, you can see that Griff speaks from the heart, and it's just all really genuine and coming from a good place. And you could just see the knowledge and the wisdom that just emanates from her. So I have a great deal of respect for that. And she really cares about animals. She really cares about people. This channel isn't just, for the purposes of just making a channel. It's to actually help. It's to help others. So I think that's a really positive thing. And, about taking the lessons that we can from each other and our animals. So, yeah. It was obviously a really difficult read. I could see from the read it was hard for her, and it was hard for me to watch. It's hard to think of your animal no longer being with you on this plane. But it does help bring a little bit of closure knowing that, good can come of it, and she has fulfilled her contract, and she's in a better place now where she's, more relaxed and happy, because I don't think she was really happy here. But yeah, I'll just give a quick backstory as to what I know. So before me, there was a previous owner, and I believe another owner before that. So I guess that in itself would leave an animal feeling quite unsettled. Because I think the owner before me helped Ruby from a not so good environment. So I don't know a lot from the previous owner, but from what I do know is that she was stressed from the owner before me. She was stressed, and that she was urinating on her children's beds. And that was kind of the one of the reasons that she felt she needed to go to a different home. So to me, because, it was causing her a lot of stress. And she could see that Ruby was stressed, and that she would hide. She would hide all day, and she would only really come out at night. So yeah, and she used to be very clawy, like the previous owner described her as a bit scratchy and a bit aggressive, and that there were issues to do with food, because there were other pets in the house, as well as other cats. I think Ruby and another cat used to there were definitely issues about food and being very possessive for food. And also, interestingly, quite sad actually, is that the previous owner said that Ruby had a kitten, and but I think they were separated when the kitten was very young, whilst Ruby was breastfeeding, and I think they were reunited eventually, and then I think they lived together eventually. But the previous owner felt that Ruby didn't recognise her own offspring, so I think that must be very sad. Must have been very sad for her, believing that her kitten was gone, and just sounds very confusing, and be very confusing being separated, from your own offspring. It must be really traumatic. But yeah, aside from that, I think other things even went on even before then. So yeah, by the time she got to me, she was very, very troubled cat. I didn't see her for a long time, to be honest. She just hid under my sofa. And the only reason I knew she existed was that food was being eaten. But I didn't see her for a very long time. Eventually, she started coming out of the sofa. But yes, it took quite a while, and it was very tentatively. And yeah, she wasn't really scratchy to me, but she was always clawy. I think it's padding. So she wouldn't sit on my lap and just relax. She would always be with her claws out, clawing at my legs. I mean, I didn't mind. I just put a blanket down. But she never felt settled. She never rested. I think maybe in the 6 months that I had her, I think one time she rested on me, like actually peacefully. Other than that, she was kind of always looking around, always moving, always jittery. Any noise, she would jump up. I mean, if she was on my lap, and even if I moved ever so slightly just to shuffle my body, she would jump up in fear, agitated. I don't know. just never really relaxed, always just looking around, and just very, very skittish at anything. I mean, towards the end of the 6 months, she did start coming out more, and she would allow me to stroke her, and my daughter used to stroke her as well. So that was really nice. So that's been really difficult for me, knowing that I've lost a pet, but also my child has lost a pet. So that's been quite a challenge. But yeah, I would say for me personally, Ruby has helped me in that it was a really difficult time in my own personal life whilst I had Ruby. So yeah, really difficult few months. Lots of stuff going on. And I feel like Ruby was there to help me through it, basically. So without going into all the detail, the major kind of life change at that point was that like my hair started falling out. It's pretty much all gone now, so I've shaved it, and I found that really, really hard. On top of like other stress, it was just kind of like the nail in the coffin of stress. And I was, very emotional, very teary, especially at night time in the evening when my daughter went to bed. And just feeling really low, and everything was getting on top of me. And like Ruby, she was there. She was skittish and frightened, and I didn't see her a lot, but she was still there. And I feel like animals are very intuitive to humans' emotions, so I feel like she knew.